A feeling that you're getting to?
Certainly, I think we're getting used to the turmoil of the market, all the stimulation that we've received, all the anxiety that has come in terms of how the herd, if you wish, has responded to this.
And have you seen over the past, I mean, this has been going on at what seems like a frenzied rate for 3.5, nearly 4 weeks now. Have you seen the herd mentality at work over the past few weeks?
I think we have to be careful. The term herd mentality covers, in fact, a whole range of behaviours. It's certainly true that there are comparisons we can make to animals at the waterhole when the predator arrives. It's very sensible that if one person notices it, we all fly off in the opposite direction. It can have a negative impact, however. So if there's a fire, for example, in a building, what you see is everybody heading towards the same exit. That is actually irrational. So it depends on the context.
We're talking about wild animals, fire, dangerous things, real, genuine fear. You can hardly talk about losing your shirt on the stock market as triggering real fear, can you? So why the herd reaction?
Sure. Well, it does trigger that fear. I mean, we have two brains. We have our neocortex, the front of the head, which is essentially the human brain, and then we have the mammalian brain, which is very much triggered by emotions. When human beings are faced with conflict, with uncertainty, with anxiety, it's our mammalian brain that gets triggered into action. So whilst from a rational perspective, yes, you're quite right, you're sitting here calmly in this studio saying that, when you're in the crowd, when you're looking at the others, your mammalian brain is triggered and off you go.
But as far as the financial world, the banking sector is concerned, we're talking about some of the best educated people in the world here. I mean, surely they would be able to overcome this animal instinct, wouldn't they, behave rationally? One would think.
One would think. Unfortunately, we know about human beings that we have a huge preponderance to overconfidence. For example, if you ask people how intelligent they are relative to the population, something like 70% will say they're above average. If you ask men how good a driver are they, about 80% will say they're above average. Yeah. So yes and no, we are rational if we stop and we think and we consider data, but our brains are not really as clever as we think they are.
So from the psychologist's point of view, should there be some sort of safety valve built into the system to stop this herd mentality kicking in, this psychological behaviour that perhaps none of us are aware of at the time when we're actually doing it, when we're behaving in this way?
Well, I think the more we understand about the brain from neuroscience, the more we can be aware of, am I being triggered by my preconscious mammalian brain and then post hoc rationalizing, which is a lot of what we do in life, or are we being driven the other way around? But essentially, I think I would like to say this is a time for leadership. This is when the leaders of those firms should be stepping up. We have not seen a great deal of that, it has to be said.
Right, Jonathan, this is fascinating. I could talk to you all day about this, but we're out of time. Many thanks indeed, Jonathan Stokes. Coming up next on the show, the fallout is far and wide. We'll take you to one Japanese town where they're watching the credit crunch very closely. Then, a little later, they're in a slightly different income bracket. We'll see, though, why some Russian billionaires are turning to the Kremlin for help. This is World Business Today.
Action!
The fastest developing market for air traffic services. A great place for a successful business. The biggest shopping centre in Europe and famous for its entertainment spots. The heart of Polish cinematography. The cultural soul of Poland and the best candidate for the European Capital of Culture. Łódź, where everybody feels like a star.